what does cloud really do? And it's really any system, application, or service that's available to and accessed from the internet. Now, it's not any more complicated than that. Really, most of what we're dealing with today when somebody talks about cloud is they simply are either accessing a server in the cloud or they are providing cloud services to end users. Now, the cloud moves the focus away from devices and places. That's been a traditional part of IT, is everything is device-centric and it can only be accessed from certain places. But with cloud computing, it becomes people-centric, where personalization follows the user. Anyone who has Google Cloud or iCloud understands that. For those of you who don't, that's basically all your settings and your information are securely stored on the servers at your provider, and they're made available through your subscription service to be able to keep updated, and if you have a problem with your device, it can be restored. Another difference in cloud is that it removes the T, the technology, from IT. Really, as you'll see as we go through this, much of what happens here is a focus on moving things out of your business that don't need to be in your business. And that's what we mean when we say removes the T from IT. Now, cloud types, public clouds are ones that can interact with anyone. These are generally your website. Google and Amazon are a good example of public clouds. They really focus that direction to where they're available to pretty much anybody. Private clouds are generally accessible only to specific people. So you might have to have your login to a specific server in order to get access to your information. Now, a hybrid cloud, that's something that's kind of changed its focus in recent years. It used to mean you might have some things on site and some things in the cloud, but what it really is now is it's private applications and information that interact with public systems, such as Travelocity, Orbitz, any kind of major aggregating program that goes into the corporate side of networks and drills all the way down to the specific locations that you're trying to find information about. And then they make it publicly available to you. You would have to go through hoops and loops just to be able to get the information, never mind what it would be if you were dealing with the information to try to get all the deals. So the differences are less about where the information resides and more about the accessibility of that information. That's pretty simple. The latest development on what is going on are the hosted and on-premise business environments that people know of as cloud computing. Now, these are server-based operating systems, so they're more secure than a desktop. And in fact, it emulates a desktop, but it's running on a server. It also has simplified administration with fast and easy deployment, something that we in the industry call provisioning, which is you make an image of something, deploy it, and that image can be used over and over again. It does eliminate the volatile desktop and application conflicts that occur because it's running on a server and the server is capable of running multiple instances of the same program. You don't get those conflicts like you would on a desktop that can only run generally one of each type of application. And also with cloud computing, you're automating about 95% or more of the routine tasks for your IT staff. So your backups are automated. Software installs are actually handled on the server and then deployed accordingly. And there's no reinstall issues. You don't really need to worry about reinstalling the local desktop, creating a situation for you. Just go get another machine, or get, in some cases, a high vision terminal server, terminal client to be able to get your stuff done. And so that reinstall goes away. So with cloud computing, you can securely and effectively put all your business tools from email to critical business applications in the cloud. Now, for some people, they think, well, we've got to put all of our information out there, right, to take advantage of this. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons why you might not. You might keep your information inside your business and run your applications and your security out in the cloud. That would probably be a much more effective way of going about it, because especially if you're under compliance initiatives, you have to be able to say, this is where the information is. And with cloud computing, you don't quite have so much of a ability to say that. So, you know, you got to kind of balance this out. But certainly all of your applications, which is really the critical part of what you're dealing with here, the biggest impact is when applications won't run. So you've got email, maybe your accounting, your CRM, your ERP, and of course your websites are probably already out there now. So in the benefits and outcomes section of things, there's lots of benefits that you might find that are going to be good. But what we find is the biggest single benefit that cloud provides to especially small people, small companies, is you're now on the same platform and territory as the big boys. You're not, you have the same exact tools, you have the same advantages, and you're not hidden by all of those million-dollar costs. You're not hit by them because they have to do it, but you can take advantage, if you know how to do it, to cut your costs down dramatically so that you're not providing all of this really expensive hardware and switches and really expensive firewalls. You're working with other companies to get it done. And the outcomes of all this is, while you may deploy only strategic assets, your core one is you're focusing on your core competencies. And after all, that's what you're in business for, not to be in business for technology. So how do I leverage cloud? Well, you start by realizing you're already in the cloud. If you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPad, and you're tuned in to any 3G or 4G device, you're already there, folks. You may have a private address, but believe it or not, you're in the cloud. This is like people that said that they were on the internet for years. It's like, no, you're always on the internet now. But in order to leverage cloud, your goal is to determine the best overall approach for the business at hand, yours. So our strategy is to look at information applications collectively. We don't want to try to approach them where we say, well, I'll just worry about the applications, or I'll just worry about the information. There might be information that can go in the cloud that you would be a very great benefit, would provide very great benefit to you in order to use it and have it there. And so you want to make sure you understand your information according to use and sensitivity. If you have accounting information, can it go into the cloud? Well, if you have protection mechanisms on that information so that they're not readily available without those protections, yes, you can. I would say so. Most people in security would agree, especially for small companies. After all, it's your finances. You're probably printing off your profit and loss statement and things like this, handling a lot of it by paper now. You want to select apps according to best common value. Now, what that means is we're going to put things out there that make sense to be for everybody. There might still be some people in your business that are running laptops, probably more than likely your salespeople and your marketing people, your top executives, and they're not going to have time to necessarily go online every time they turn around and connect up to, you know, a virtual desktop. They may want to work off of their laptop. So you want to put things out there according to best common value. And when you combine solutions, you want to combine best of breed vertical solutions with best in class. These would be your width. So how far across your company are you going to expand this? The further out you go, the longer you're best in class. Now, some points to consider. And this is where a lot of people get into trouble because they either overdo these or underdo these. Information sensitivity is critical. You may think that human resource records are fine to have out in the cloud, but should they accidentally get opened, in the wrong environment, that might be a very bad thing. So you want everything to go where it makes the most sense. If you really need to control access to it, you might want to consider keeping it inside of your business and having a tunnel back from the data center to you to be able to access that information from the applications out in the data center. Now another one, bring your own device, BYOD, one of our many acronyms that we use in IT. But this is no longer a super high risk. It used to be a problem because the information security wasn't as guaranteed in the cloud as it is in your business. Today, you're dealing with data centers that have $100,000 firewalls and $100,000 intrusion detection systems, things that you, even a relatively large business, are not going to spend the money for. So the risk is still there, though. We want to make sure, even though we've eliminated a lot of the problems and secured a lot of the ideas, there's still risk for bring your own device. But again, it's no longer a super high risk. And finally, all in is not necessary. I see a lot of companies that want to try to go all in. They want to take everything and put it out in the data center. And for some companies, it's just not feasible. You've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of information, terabytes of information running on desktops. Can you stick it out in the data center? Well, folks, that may not be the best choice to do. You may want to keep it archived on an offline archive on site and available as needed, and not pay for that drive space out there unless you actually have it. But the goal is the idea is to use only the pieces you need, to put them where it makes sense, and to focus on the pieces that benefit you the most. So the takeaway to all of this is that any organization can leverage cloud to provide a customizable business information system, one that is new and is closely aligned with the business goals of the business, for the same price or less than they're paying to maintain the current system. Again, it's a customizable business information system. We don't want this to be turnkey in the sense that one company is run in the cloud just like another company is. This needs to be customizable, and it needs to match the business goals. So thank you very much for listening in. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. My name is Randy Bridges with L5 Consulting. If you have any questions, you can contact us via either of the telephone numbers, whichever one is nearest to you. The 510 is for California, and the 765 is located in Indiana. That is our two office points. You can also contact us via email at info@l5consulting.com. Thank you very much, and have a great day.